don't know. It's not. It's
Now
supposed
we're
to.
live.
Oh yeah. Now we're live. Hello, everybody. I'm Frank Gamer. This is the Frank Gamer Show. Joining me is my guest, FPS Diesel.
Hi, that's me. I'm FPS Diesel.
That is FPS Diesel. How are you doing, Diesel?
Good. Just swimming in the memes.
Oh yeah, memes are amazing. I wish all video games had memes because that's what they need more of. Are memes, even if it's in a fantasy RPG setting. And we'll get into that. We'll get into that later. Don't you worry, internet. So anyways, let's start off with some news, okay? As usual, 15 minutes news, 30 minutes gamer interest, 15 minutes on art and philosophy of games. Pretty standard by now. So, the Ark I'm sorry, I cannot say this name. Ark Survival Evolved lawsuit was settled this last week in mediation. Apparently, the game was developed in breaking a non-compete agreement, is what I heard. And they're serious business now.
What did they end up settling for, by the way?
Well, okay, that's the thing. There's originally, I think it was like 200 million they were trying to get or something. No way they were going to get that, obviously. But somebody, like the person who ran it on Twitter, was saying they settled for 40, just 40. So probably 40 million, 40,000. Nobody knows. But nobody's saying yet. So we'll find out soon. All I know is I hate non-compete agreements. I really do. I don't know if you caught like part of what when the High Ruler was on, he was talking about that. Yeah, non-compete agreements are ruining the game industry.
Would you like to explain to me what High Ruler was talking about?
Sure. So he was saying that when you join up on a studio and you're developing, you sign a non-compete agreement so that if you leave, you're stuck for like a year or 5 years or something ridiculous like that. So you can't find another job in the industry because you learned inside tricks from that studio, right? It's supposed to protect the studio so that people can't use like their, code or something. But dude, I mean, you're really signing up these people with a ball and chain around their foot. It's terrible for game development. I don't know. I just wish that, because if other industries ran like that, so for example, like finance, if you were like a someone in finance, I don't know what they're called. If you were someone in finance,
the business people.
You sign up for a company, non-compete agreement for a year, can't do anything. If you leave, you're going to be stuck at that business, like pushing papers or whatever. So if you leave, you have all of your experience in that company, right? For like the past 5 to 10 years, you can't find a job for a year. And if all of your experience is in that company, you're going to be working at McDonald's or something, right? It's terrible. It's a terrible way to run business. And it's pretty standard for the game industry. So that's number one that needs to change in the game industry.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah, that's terrible. I want to share my screen here for a minute for the next little bit of information, because this is going to be fun.
It's a nice segue you got there, buddy.
Well, I don't know how to actually talk about this next. Sorry, everyone. I know you're seeing weird stuff. Oh my god. Yeah, precision cushioning. That's what we're going to talk about.
Sponsored by Reebok.
This is what we're talking about. Apparently, this gun company, Precision Syndicate, they turned a Glock into a Nintendo Zapper. And it looks pretty cool, but obviously Nintendo's not going to have any of that. So here's the thing. The company went on record and said, look, this is a one-time thing. This is for one guy, and it's not for, like, mass production. So don't worry about it, because everybody was free. People are really sensitive about guns, obviously, because it kills people. So, so they don't like the fact that, a childhood memory is being turned into a gun. All right. So speaking of Nintendo and shooting, currently, great segue. Currently, Splatoon is doing this monstrosity. SpongeBob's
great. I think this is great.
Are you serious? No way.
It seems like the perfect tie-in, honestly. Why don't we just have an inkling in like a new episode of SpongeBob? I mean, they're running out of ideas anyway on that show. Just
that show needed to end 5 seasons ago, first of all. I don't know about SpongeBob versus Patrick Splatoon games though. That just
I think that's hilarious. How about we just get them in as like announcers? Oh my
oh
god, that would be
god,
great.
dude, no, no. Are you kidding me? This is like cancer of
This
the.
this is like something everybody should like was thinking. Oh, this is perfect for that. Come
No,
on,
I could see Mario in Splatoon. You know, because the Inkling kind of
the
looks like a
Nintendo thing, you
yeah, they
know,
kind of look like
it looks like a
bloopers.
blooper. Yeah,
Exactly. But the SpongeBob SquarePants. What? What are you thinking? What is
I mean,
this?
you know, clearly the people over at Splatoon Incorporated don't know their audience because
Oh
I haven't
no.
watched SpongeBob in years,
Are you kidding me? No,
but
there's
I
no
think this
way.
is great. I think it's funny.
Well, I like the fact that people are actually enjoying it because they were having fun with it on Twitter. Like people were making jokes and stuff. Mike's 8899 said Diesel is my B. Yeah,
Bay,
that's what he said. Yeah.
Bay,
Well, no,
B.
no, he said something else.
This is my
But
bitch.
yeah. Oh yeah, he did. He did. That's what he told you. No, I think because you like SpongeBob. But anyways, yeah, Nintendo's actually in hot water for another thing that they did. It's pretty much par for the course that Nintendo is going to ruin anything on the internet that's fun that has their name attached to it. There was a fan-made 3D Zelda project that looked really
Yeah.
cool. It looked so amazing, by the way, and they just completely cease and desist it. So now it's garbage, which is really sad because I really
I don't know
like
why Nintendo has that kind of mentality.
on YouTube too, dude. On YouTube, they do it all the time. It's not just these like random game projects and indie development stuff. It's also on YouTube, and I don't know why they do it.
It's free advertising, really. Like,
Yeah,
if
they
that's
weren't
somebody that could have been somebody's first experience with the Zelda title,
right.
and
They
they
weren't
could have
making money
gone
off of
and
it.
played one of the new Zelda games. And it's not making money. Yeah, I don't see the point off of that. Plus,
I
there's
think,
tons of
yeah,
fan-made Zelda games online already
yeah.
that probably duplicate it more to a T.
Well,
Like,
I like when they take Ocarina of Time or whatever and they put it in whatever engine is newly released. They always do that, by the way. Like the newest Unreal Engine, they'll put Ocarina of Time in it and it looks spectacular. And it's like, oh, is
yeah,
that Death Mountain in the distance? But they do it every time, and so it's getting old now. But it's always cool to see that. And Nintendo hasn't really done a cease and desist on that, have they? I mean, I don't know.
no, they haven't. No, don't give them any ideas. Yeesh.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on with Nintendo. There was one thing I saw online, and that was that Super Mario Brothers speed run. He did it. What is his name? Darbian. He was a speedrunner who hit the end of Super Mario Brothers in 4 minutes and 57 seconds. I think was the number. Just ridiculously fast, dude. Like that's.
To be
I mean, mad
honest,
props,
I
right?
feel like they can go faster.
Are you kidding
I
me?
don't. I I haven't watched it. I don't know how he did it, but I just assume you could do it in like 3 minutes. Like there's some
Well,
secret way.
I watched it, and it's like, oh my gosh, dude, he was doing all this crazy stuff that I didn't know you could do. Like you could barely touch the piranha plants and they won't kill you. It's just insane. Yeah. Apparently, my video stream looks a little weird, so it looks like it's an '80s filter.
Oh,
Tristan, for that, by the way.
yes.
So, anyways, let's talk about Gamefront, the mod place to be. Apparently, I used to use Gamefront a long time ago, and now it's shutting down, which is really sad.
I didn't even know they were still operational. I mean, to be honest, the place I go for my mods is Nexus. That sounded like a paid advertisement, but
It wasn't, right? If it is, you have to disclose it now based on FTC
no.
regulations.
Yes, I know what happened. I remember that.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I used to do Morrowind modding back in the day,
Nice.
and yeah, so I loved it. But yeah, it's sad. Everything's moving over to ModDB now.
Mhm.
That's what they're saying is that up until April 30th is they're still operating. So another 15, 14 days.
That sucks.
It does. So let's move on. Shovel Knight passed $1.2 million Yeah, 1.2 million in sales, so actual copies. 200,000 from retail, and I contributed to that because I bought
So
it on
did I.
PS4 yesterday.
Add him to Smash Bros. Why the fuck won't we add? We have an amiibo. I have the
I
amiibo
thought
right
they
here.
would too.
Oh my
Yeah, I
god!
thought they would.
Please.
Well, I don't know why they didn't.
They added Bayonetta, and then they added like another Fire Emblem character because we don't have enough of those in Smash. But
they're really trying to force Fire Emblem down Americans' throats. I don't know what the idea is. No, I know it's a popular game series. I get that, but like before people even knew what it was, they introduced characters for Fire Emblem. And
yeah,
then they were
no.
like, yeah, that was the whole point of it. That
You
was
know
the
how
whole
amazing
point.
it would have been if they added Shovel Knight to Smash Bros. Like an indie title
That would have
like
been
Shovel
awesome.
Knight having that kind of representation. Oh
But
my god!
what's the benefit to Nintendo? That's what they were thinking. Like
They
Nintendo
they
looked
don't
at it.
have any benefit to that.
Exactly.
Like you
No,
don't get
that's the
anything.
problem. Yeah, they looked
Yeah,
at it. Like,
but
we don't
it would
win
be
anything.
cool.
Oh yeah, it would be cool. They
Think
would
about
get
it. They could have made Yacht Club their little babies, and then they just could have, made it like a division of Nintendo. And have been like, hey, just make whatever you want as long as it makes some money. You know,
I don't know. I don't know about all that. Speaking of indie titles, Minecraft is doing an education edition in June, and that's going to be going for free for teachers and stuff. Like if you're a student in school, in elementary school or middle school or something, you can do basic game development with Minecraft Education Edition.
that's
Which is
awesome. That's
it's
really
nice,
cool.
you know. Well,
There
like
have been like places. The place I work for, that I did the music video for, actually, some of their teachers go over to the schools and they teach stuff with technology using Minecraft like that. So it's really interesting. Like they've been going hard, having like really young kids get into things like programming and design and architecture.
oh
And
wow,
it's awesome that they're doing this. There's so many like educational applications that Minecraft has.
see, I thought Minecraft was just for griefing, but apparently there's more than that in the game.
Apparently, you
So
can build things.
yeah, who knew, right? All I ever did was I would build a house and then die when those stupid things showed up at night. But that's it. So whatever. Yeah, no, I never really got into Minecraft, to be honest.
I had my phase.
Did you try to do it on YouTube like everyone?
You bet your sweet ass I did.
I knew it. No, I considered it. I was like, hey, everyone's making money off of Minecraft. Let's go into that.
Yeah, because
No,
that's what everybody wants to see. Another 30-minute Minecraft Let's Play. Oh my god, so original. Yeah.
Here's an idea. Let's do 5 nights at Freddy's in Minecraft and do like a character play. That's what we'll do. We'll do it. You and me, Diesel. We'll do 5 nights at Freddy's, the video novel.
Five Nights at Freddy's has been ruined for me. I mean, I didn't think it was good anyway. Sorry, internet.
Oh, wow.
But I was standing outside of Hot Topic at the mall today. I refused to go into Hot Topic, and these individuals walked by, and these individuals were of plus size, of ample girth.
I don't know what you mean by that.
And they were fat. And they were wearing Five Nights at Freddy's related clothing.
You're kidding me.
And they looked like a mess. They looked like they had just seen like Insane Clown Posse and then went over to like the furry convention, and they looked like a mess.
Of course, because the
And they were wearing Five Nights at Freddy's clothes, walked right into Hot Topic, and I shook my head.
just you made sure they saw you shake your head too, because that's the important part. No, I have no problem with Five Nights at Freddy's, but it feels like the fan base is starting to go off the rails. Just maybe a little bit off the rails. I don't know. But yeah, it's getting a little weird. Yeah.
Sorry for that tangent. I just needed to talk.
Well, no. Like when they started to sexualize the robots, I started to get a little weirded out by the fan.
It's like the whole thing with Undertale. I don't know how you're like sexually aroused by a skeleton. Like there's literally nothing there.
Well, let's change the subject.
That Sans, man, gets me going.
I mean, me too, but I mean, no, not me. I mean, we're just joking, right? I'm not a secret Undertale fan fiction writer. Oh my gosh. So, anyways, moving on to Blizzard, which is never a subject of controversy. Blizzard also issued their own cease and desist because they cease and desist
Disease. Just
because
stop and
because
die.
they love Nintendo so much, so they copied them in issuing cease and desists in every case. But this is on that WoW server running like vanilla WoW. It was a Nostralarius, I think is how you pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they have got so much backlash for that one. Some people just like vanilla WoW, and that was their one option to do it. And you've ruined it, Blizzard. You've ruined it for everyone. There was no reason to do that. I mean, were they actually charging for it? I don't think they were, right?
No, I don't believe they were.
So
I
then
can
what's the
understand if they were
problem?
making money, but they weren't.
Yeah, they were running a server for fans of the game. What's the problem with that?
I bet you anything Blizzard is gonna be like, you could have a vanilla server, but you gotta pay for it now. I can see that.
Yeah, because
That
they're
wasn't
gonna.
the most articulate.
No, I
but
get you. No,
yeah.
that's what they're gonna do. So, in other Blizzard news, let me screen share again because I love making people see the tunnel of vision that happens when I do this. So let's talk about this.
Internet Explorer.
What something happened with Overwatch? A
Yeah, something.
little controversy that occurred with a butt apparently. And since I like talking about butts and I cannot lie, let's talk about this. So Blizzard replaced Tracer's butt pose with a better butt pose. And I say quote unquote better because it's still a butt pose. So I don't know what people were like. They were shouting victory that they got something changed, and it was like, I'm not sure.
What did you
I'm
do?
not sure that was much better for you guys. It looks just as sexual as the other one, so you didn't win anything.
Actually, that one is better because there is meaning behind it. Do you know why?
Why?
Yes. Okay, so that pose in the new pose is based off of a. It was on the side of a fighter pilot plane in World War II, I believe, and it was like a pinup girl.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. I
Tracer's
saw that.
backstory is that she was a test pilot for, I want to say Overwatch. I might be wrong. I've been getting into Overwatch lore.
Oh, have you really?
She actually like crashed and disappeared, and that's how she got the time power. And so yeah, she was a pilot, and so it's closer to the character. So the person that wrote the huge diatribe bitching about how it didn't have anything to do with the character was kind of right to an extent because that pose didn't. And now it does. It's still a butt pose, though.
Yeah, it's still a butt. Like that was the one complaint that person had was that it was sexualizing a character that necessarily didn't have sexuality in her character. But I mean, even this one does, but it still fits better, maybe. I mean, I'm fine with it either way. Blizzard changed it to something they're more comfortable
I
with.
think it's more thematically appropriate for Tracer, in my opinion.
That's fair. And that's
I
different
also
than
saw
saying
like a picture where somebody was complaining. It's like, oh, her butt crack's too deep. I'm like, are you?
I saw
right?
that. Yeah, somebody retweeted that on Twitter. One of the people I follow. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" They actually went into the what was it? They went into the actual model and they noted how deep her butt was. And it was like, "Are you kidding me?" I can't believe the internet. I cannot believe it. No, but anyway,
aesthetics.
yeah, it was. Last thing I want to talk about on news side, since we're running out of time, but it is, yeah, it's been fun. The last thing is about this live action Pokemon movie that supposedly is in the works. Did you hear about that?
I did, and as I said before we started the show, all I want is Danny DeVito to voice Detective Pikachu, and that's not gonna happen.
I want Ash to be Christopher Walken.
Oh my god.
Make it happen. I'm not going to do the impression, though, because I can't. But it would be amazing. It'd be like...
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think we need a live-action Pokemon movie. Dragon Ball Evolution is a thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. I mean, I'm hyped for Ghost in the Shell. I mean...
Yeah, it's the perfect character for Scarlett Johansson to play.
I know. Yeah, I'm very I'm unwilling to budge when people start shouting whitewashing for things.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't care that it's Scarlett Johansson as the Major
Right.
because she's white. I care because I don't think Scarlett Johansson is the right person for that role.
No, I don't think she could pull it off, to be honest with you. The Major has like a lot of like buried emotion, and I think that's a little complicated for her to get across on screen. I don't know. Maybe a stronger actress, like like a stronger white actress, could have pulled it off. But I get people are saying, like I saw one argument on Twitter. Somebody said the Japaneseness, if that's a word, of Ghost in the Shell is what
Like,
makes it itself.
just because it's an anime doesn't mean that the characters have to be Japanese.
I mean, yeah. But
I
at
mean,
the
if they
same
did a
time,
live action Attack on Titan, you wouldn't expect everybody in Attack on Titan to be Asian.
yeah, and that's the problem I had with it. That's a different form of washing that they had. Japan washing? I don't
I
know.
wasn't gonna say that, but we'll go with that one because it sounds less racist.
Well, what were you gonna say, Diesel? If you don't mind my asking, because
Oh, what was I gonna? I was gonna make a joke. This is a joke. I was gonna say yellow washing.
whoa, oh God, the internet. They're already writing mean comments.
What
I
else?
think Sui Park is gonna start a hashtag against you, so you better watch out.
Sweet. Look at all that free coverage I'm getting.
No, yeah, that was pretty amazing when that happened. So speaking of drama, you want to get into our 30-minute conversation on YouTube drama?
Boy, I sure love that. Yes.
No, I know. It's like pulling teeth to talk to you about it. I didn't want to. I know I don't think of you as just the drama guy. You know what I mean? Because you have a lot to offer in terms of like stuff about game development and video games in general. But I don't know anything about this situation, and it's really big right now. So I if you don't mind sharing your thoughts on it, this whole Toby Turner situation.
All right. Where do you want to start? Because this is a very deep hole.
Yeah. Let's. Okay. See, because I was wondering about that. Because as far as I understand, it all began when he announced a new girlfriend or something, and then it all went downhill from there apparently. But like I said, I don't know anything about it. So
the real ignition to this pile of poop fire, right, is a Tumblr post by a chick named April something. Her first name's April.
Right.
I believe it might just be an internet handle, but April is talking about, Toby sexually assaulted me, blah, blah, blah. And it happened a long time ago, but I'm bringing it out now because I didn't have the courage to early, like before, but now I do. And so that's what happened. Of course, the man, myth, the legend, Keemstar himself ran the story, and the internet lost its collective mind.
So that's what made it explode, was Keemstar reporting on it?
Well, yeah, you got 1 million subscribers. It was already pretty much blowing up on social media, but Keemstar definitely gave it a super, really good push that got everybody else talking about it. Because if you're a YouTuber, you probably watch Keemstar to keep up on, the happenings that are happening with other creators. So other people were now talking about it. So Toby released a 50-second video saying these rape allegations are false. Not breaking eye contact with the camera. These rape allegations are false. I did not rape anybody. It is not true. And that was the end of the video. Really weird, out of place, and kind of creepy.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, to be honest with you.
And then somebody else went on Facebook and said, oh, yeah, Toby did stuff like this to me too. Philip DeFranco was like, okay, I invited Toby to a party. He's not a bad guy. He started getting real pushy on one of my employees, and so one of his female employees. So he asked him to leave, and then Toby left. Apparently, Toby has drug problems and a whole slew of other things. But the main one is that apparently he raped some chick, and other people are saying I was raped by him too.
But
And
we don't know if any of that's true, right? That's the big problem.
that's the big one, because the internet doesn't really give a shit.
Wow.
The internet has basically been, Toby raped somebody. I know, because somebody
Well,
said it on the internet.
okay, like I get that. How do I say this without offending anyone? And I don't think I can. I don't I don't believe anything that's posted to the internet without a police report. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Why, if somebody rapes you, go to the police. Don't talk about it on the internet. What are you doing? I don't get that. I'm not blaming the victim because we don't know if there was a victim yet. That's the main problem with this. So I mean, for all I know, he could be the victim of a mob that's attacking him right now, or he could just be kind of a dick, and people think he's a rapist because of it. I mean, we don't know, right?
That's the problem. We don't know. And if you're going to Tumblr and say and using it as your 911, that's a problem. You shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
And it's something that I don't know why it happens. And okay, fine. Maybe you were a little afraid. You didn't want to talk about it when it happened. You should still go to the police at some point in time. And that might be difficult. And it's easier. It's easy to say because you and I, as far as I know, we're not raped. We
Right.
haven't been raped.
Okay.
So when we're in that situation, maybe we'll do something stupid and be like, going to the police is a bad idea because they're just gonna not do anything or something. Like, I can't put myself in that kind of mindset
Yeah,
to
I hear
where
you.
like I can't get to that point where I can think like they might be thinking if it is true. And then if it's not true, I don't even know why they're doing this. and, and it's like the idea of saying, oh, well, he looks kind of rapey is kind of a dumb thing to say because that doesn't mean that somebody is a rapist. They just look kind of rapey. Don't use that. That's not cool.
I mean, okay, look, there's been a few YouTubers that have talked about it as a result, right? Obviously,
Mhm.
Keemstar did, but recently PewDiePie did something, right? Is that
Yeah, he didn't address it specifically, but he was like, there's a lot of drama on here. And he was basically talking about, I don't want internet mobs going after people because that's not how it should be done. Right. And that the whole idea of this YouTube drama and, how there's channels that are dedicated to talking about drama now is a problem. Right. And he was basically calling for more professionalism from creators and more thought on the audience's part before they
right?
jump the gun and do something.
Yeah, and I heard a similar thing from Mr. Enter, and I mentioned this too. He didn't specifically mention this situation, but he mentioned other situations like, well, I'm not going to say, but, he talked about this Simpsons episode where everyone assumed Homer had pinched some girl's butt
Mhm.
because she saw him reaching for her butt, and it was a misunderstanding. But because she made out as the perfect victim, she was like a grad student young woman, and he was a gross looking older male. It made it like the perfect situation for the media and everyone to grasp onto. No police involvement, no charges, nothing like that. Just a huge mob of media attention. And that,
Mhm.
and he said that that's what happens when it's not it's not something concrete, something that's easily addressed, and that's what you see in this situation. I'm not saying he didn't do it, um, but I'm not gonna say he did it, if that makes sense.
No, 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 no. Yeah, I'm with you there. Like, could go either way right now,
Yeah.
and I don't think we're gonna see a result or anything happen. I really don't. I mean, if it did happen and nothing's gonna happen, that's a shame. And then if nothing happened and this is just all some crazy talk, uh, that's also a shame because you're ruining him. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. He's ruined. He is gonna have
Well,
such a hard time working with other YouTubers now. He
Yeah.
had a action figure with tube heroes, which is weird how any YouTuber has an action figure, but
Yeah. Yeah.
they
I
pulled
heard
it.
about that.
They pulled it, so now you can't buy a Tobuscus action figure just in case you were going to do that. So if you haven't bought one, probably buy one because they're going to sell for a lot now, which is
Well,
a shame.
I didn't want to tell you, but I saw Keemstar did a video about it.
Yeah,
And
he bought a Tobuscus action figure.
that's pretty amazing.
I'm like, shit, why didn't I do that? That would have been great.
Gosh, great. No, yeah, I mean, yeah, all the negative publicity, people aren't going to want to associate their brand with him. Obviously, he's going to lose subscribers. He's going to lose influence. It's going to ruin him. Maybe it may ruin him. And all because of something that may or may not be true, but it's so terrible that people do not want to be associated with him and that idea of rape. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you can understand like businesses distancing themselves from him, stuff like that. It's just, I don't want to say it's a shame because I don't know if he's a rapist or not, but I just hate situations like this.
I mean, when it comes to like YouTube drama, I've consistently become more and more skeptical. And I don't want to use the term drama because let's be honest, this isn't drama. We're talking about a very serious thing, right? We're talking about alleged rape. That's serious, right?
Yeah.
And when we had Basher and we had Lion Maker, people were very quick to just jump on it and be like, well, he must be a pedophile. He must be a rapist. He must be a child killer. Yeah. Have you ever seen Freddy Got Fingered?
Is that what happened?
He's a molester. He's a child molester. And we can't have that. And I see it a lot from creators, and I argue that it's mainly because creators are younger and less experienced, where they're going on, they're giving a half-baked opinion, and what they're doing is they're having their subscribers go and attack this other person because they're impressionable, and your subscribers just want a confirmation bias anyway. So the second you agree with them, you're going to be like, yes, he agrees with me. I am going to tell the other guy that I don't agree with him.
Well, that's the thing. And then the people you don't like and that you disagree with become the worst people on the planet. They become Hitler. They become Mao. That's what they become. So, child molester and rapist is not off the table if you really just dislike somebody. Or if you don't agree with them, then you can say they're a rapist or they're a child molester or they're a racist. I mean, these are terrible things that we're associating with people we don't like now. But that's, that may or may not be what's happening. We don't know. But yeah.
There's going to be a YouTube drama. And I said it in my last video, right? Where I'm like, okay, it's bad. It's going to keep happening. But we need to be smart about it, right? And it's going to happen more frequently. And, do I think people should be surprised when, it turns out that, so-and-so YouTuber was addicted to cocaine and now they're, going through a fallout or something like that? Because you really shouldn't, right? When you watch their content, there's this one-on-one interaction where you think, oh, this person on the other side of the camera is my friend. I know them personally. And it gets very personal.
Yeah, and
it's not that. It's not that anymore. And people need to realize that. And I know, it's a shame to think that, but YouTube's definitely becoming more and more corporate. So that idea that it's you and the creator and you're very close is not true anymore. And these are people, and, when you got all that money, who knows? You might just be like, oh, I got all this money, just gonna try cocaine now. And then that's what happens.
Yeah, I know. YouTube has changed. It used to be these creators were just on their own, making their videos in like a room that they have dedicated in their house for it or something, right? It's not that. Now they're sponsored by Disney and, Maker and Full Screen have them, and, it's a mess. And that's part of the thing, or part of the issue here is that, if you're going to be a big YouTuber, you kind of need that. And if you have a rape allegation sticking out when your name is Googled, they're probably not going to want to associate with you. And that really does hurt you in the long run. So I don't know. I don't know what to take away from all this, other than we shouldn't give in to mob mentalities as internet denizens, maybe.
Look, all I've learned from all this YouTube drama is that honestly, genuinely, I can't fucking stand it. Everybody needs to grow the fuck up. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. I've gotten to the point now where I sit there, I hear about something, and I'm like, I'm not covering this. Well, Diesel, why are you not covering this? Because it's annoying as shit. That's why. It's because I don't care.
That's part of the reason why I waited a little bit before we started talking about, because I think I've only mentioned the Overwatch thing twice. I think it was once before this.
And it was just really offhand.
Yeah, it wasn't like a whole video on it because, you know, that feels weird. But I'm gonna put it on the thumbnail for this, just because it's such a bizarre mob thing that happened. I mean, one person complained about it, then Blizzard pulled it, and then people took sides. That's what happened. I mean, it wasn't like a whole group of people came after Blizzard and said, you need to get rid of this because it's objectifying women. You know, it wasn't a whole group of people doing that. It was one person on a forum that Blizzard watches for Overwatch. So that was it. So it's just bizarre. It was such a weird situation. And you see that now. You see now where people, especially these companies like this, they don't want to be associated with any single negativity like
Which
that.
Doesn't make sense.
Right. Well, any accusation of like sexism or racism, they have to fix it. And that's what they do. So, for example, like Nintendo will edit out anything that might be offensive, right? And coming overseas, they'll fix things in their games so that it doesn't have that. What was the game? There was a game that had like a boob slider where you could change the size of the character's breasts.
Oh. I want to say that was one of the Bravely Default games.
Yeah,
they be wrong.
Well, they got rid of it in the West because they were afraid that it would offend people. And then they'd have an internet mob on their hands. And that's what people are afraid of now. They're afraid of internet mob mentality. And it's scary. For all the end bullying stuff, you know, where cyberbullying is a big issue in schools, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Why is this still happening? Why are we still taking up arms against something that we feel offended by on the internet?
I think that's just part of how the internet works. You know, you got the anonymity, right? You're very passionate about something, so nobody knows who you are, and you can be passionate about the issue and say whatever you want.
Yeah, with no repercussions to you.
With no repercussions.
Yeah.
So you got nothing to lose, really. Like,
I don't know.
You're barely at the same table as the other person. I mean, it's. I'd much rather have that. You know, I hate waking. Like, I still remember the time that fucking Keemstar watched my video and was like, "Oh, guys, go after this kid. He's a dummy. He doesn't know what he's talking about." And all of a sudden, I wake up in the morning. There's 200 comments telling me to kill myself.
Well, to be fair, he didn't say go after you, did he?
Really? He basically was like, here's the video link. I have no control over my subscribers. What are you talking about?
I know. I saw him get called out for it. But yeah.
There's definitely like a problem with the mob mentality specific to YouTube, because I see more and more creators consistently using that influence to go after people. I say like influencer points, right? So a guy like Tobuscus has a lot of subscribers, but I don't think he has as many influence points as a guy like Keemstar. Keemstar is a conversation starter.
You're right.
Tobuscus
because
is just a content creator.
Well, that's the kind of stuff that gets retweeted on Twitter and shared on Facebook is his kind of content. The stuff like Let's Plays and stuff don't necessarily get shared. They'll be seen though. You know, that's the difference. And you're right.
We complain about all these social experiment guys and how did these horrible people get so big? Through social media. The idea of doing like, fake sex offender prank. like gone sexual or whatever the shit. Like, there's a reason. You see that on like your Facebook feed. You just stare at it for like 3 seconds as you're scrolling through. It immediately gets a view. If it's in Facebook's native player, that's gonna get put up on the scale. Facebook wants you to be on their video player, so you're going to see that, and you're not going to see a guy like PewDiePie ever. You know, he one of the biggest channels on YouTube. I honestly don't think he's the most influential for like games.
No, not like that. It's not something that gets. I think conversation is a good way to put it, as you did. He doesn't start conversations. Maybe Notch occasionally. Maybe some of these other guys that have huge influence, like Total Biscuit. But no, not these Let's Players like PewDiePie or Markiplier even, who do have huge subscriber bases. They don't have a huge reach in terms of the industry itself or in terms of gamers. It's a difference, and people don't understand that. They think, oh, PewDiePie is #1 gaming YouTuber, so therefore he's the most influential gaming YouTuber. It's a very different thing between being influential and having the most subscribers. Because PewDiePie makes funny voices, he's not influential. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a different audience that watches that too. I was thinking about this earlier where, you know, what is the average age of like a PewDiePie subscriber? And, you know, whatever age it says on the YouTube analytics
12.
is wrong. I'd say, you know, like 12.
Yeah,
definitely.
that's what I think.
But the guys who watch Keemstar or like Pyrocynical or Leafy, the guys that are guys, I use guys, you know, non-gender specific. I really do think there's, you know, chicks there too. But it's mainly dudes. Let's be honest.
You don't have to say that, dude. Nobody cares.
I know, but somebody's gonna say something. I felt it. That's why I felt like mentioning it.
You felt a disturbance in the board.
I felt a disturbance in the patriarchy.
Oh God, no! Don't say that.
But well, okay. So the guys that watch, you know, Keemstar, Leafy, Pyrocynical, they're a little older. You know, they're probably playing Counter-Strike. They're probably 14, 15, 16. And
this is by no means like, this is by no means crapping on PewDiePie or Markiplier, because I actually watch Markiplier all the time. But it's also not, you know, raising up Keemstar by any means. But what you're saying is correct about influence, and that's the key, I think.
Like it's think about the people that are watching PewDiePie that might have a Twitter. Probably a lot less of them have a Twitter than, you know, people like Keemstar's fans. Probably all have Twitters and are probably following him because they want to keep up on that news. They want to keep up on what's going on. They like being informed. They like seeing what's happening, and they like being a part of that drama because it's fun. It's interesting. Like, how could you not want to have something to say about Tobuscus? You know, so everybody's saying something. Everybody's saying something shitty. So you should too, because it's everywhere.
And then he does. And
exactly.
then he explodes further. Yeah, no, I hear you. That's influence, that's reach, that's what he does, and he does it well. And I mean, good for him. I don't know.
People clearly are starting to say they don't like it. You know, PewDiePie pointed it out in his 3-minute video. He's like, there's channels specifically dedicated now to talking about YouTube drama, and he's like, I just don't know how to feel about that. And I've been getting to the point too where I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, you know, am I one of those drama channels? I've learned that I got to walk a very careful line on the news I decide to cover and the stuff that happens, which is why I want to branch back into doing like game related stuff. Right. Because there's not enough genuine, real news that I feel qualifies as news to talk about in the YouTube space. Because, you know, it's a lot of, I said it in the video, it's a lot of the time it's just two guys going at it, having a differing opinion on something. That was the gist of it with Leafy and H3H3. And this was like an entire week-long argument, and everybody got involved, and everybody had a stake in it.
I barely knew what was going on, to be honest with you. Somebody stole content, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to it, to be honest with you.
Like, to be honest, I think H3H3 does better content than Leafy. That's just because I feel their commentary on the shitty videos is better. It's like Leafy for 7 minutes. Oh, kill yourself, dude. Oh my God. Did you see his face? Look at what he's doing, dude.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I hear you. But Maybe.
And it was a long argument
Yeah, I don't
over
know.
like what was transformative or not. But at the end of the day, it wasn't an argument over that. It was personal beef.
That's what
And
it was.
so
Yeah.
their fans took up arms against that. There was a good conversation there over what was transformative and what isn't. But it got completely destroyed by everybody just wanting
Yeah.
to, grab their pitchforks and be like, ah, my YouTuber is better.
Yeah, I know. And that always happens.
Either
But
are better.
let's end this on YouTube drama stuff. And it's not even like all drama because the whole rape accusation thing, it like you said, is serious. Do you have any closing things on that before we move on to the next topic?
Whenever you hear about something on the internet, please do me a favor. Think about it before you say something.
No one's gonna do that.
Because I know nobody wants to think about that. But I don't want people to be like, oh, well, you're telling me not to talk on the internet. Oh, that's censorship. Look, it really depends, right? So if you're somebody that says, oh, I think Tobuskis raped, blah, blah, blah. What grounds do you have for that? A Tumblr post? Is that really the most trustworthy source?
No.
Think about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't have much to say on that. Let's move on to the next topic. For the last bits of this episode of the Frank Gamer Show, let's talk about localization versus translation of games. Is there a difference? How far is too far? Let's just open the floodgates because what was it? Fire Emblem? People were complaining about the localization that Nintendo Treehouse did.
There was memes in it.
There was memes in it. Why? Why are you putting memes in a fantasy RPG?
That's what the Western kids love.
Oh yeah, that's what they love. No, it's because the people they're hiring to do it have no concept of like what people are actually looking for in a game. So they're like, this is funny. And then they add it in and it's like it's dated the moment it comes out. What are you doing? So okay, let's talk about that. Is there a difference between translation and localization? First
Big
of all,
difference.
what do you
Big
think?
difference.
What's the difference?
Localization is changing up a game so that way it doesn't offend that local audience because there might be something that's horrifyingly offensive in it. I guess over in the UK, the term spastic is like a very offensive term for
Yeah, I heard
somebody
about
who's
that.
disabled. Yeah, that was on a Did You Know Gaming for like Mario Party or something, and they had to change it over there. They had to actually recall a bunch of copies because people were offended. Over here, that's not the same thing. Nobody thinks of the word spastic and thinks, oh, that person's disabled. Like spastic just means somebody who's kind of erratic all over the place.
Yeah, and that's understandable in that case, right? You're making a game that's supposed to be E for everyone, and it has a word that's natively offensive to people there. I understand altering it in that case, right? Would that still be translation then? I mean, right?
No, because the term in Japanese would have been spastic or whatever their equivalent of that spastic word would be.
Well, that's the thing, though. There's multiple words that mean whatever that word means. It doesn't have to be the offensive one.
That's the problem. So, I mean, is translation really translation at that point?
See, this is where we run down a rabbit hole, right? So, okay. All right. So, first off, anytime you translate, you're going to lose some meaning, right? If you're translating, for example, a character, and this happened all the time, as far as I understand it, for Fire Emblem, anytime a Fire Emblem character was translated from Japanese into any Western audience, they were changed because they didn't think that the Western audiences would understand what that character's archetype was. Because we don't have those archetypes in our stories, I guess. I don't know. There's some sort of relationship between culture and that character that we don't grasp. So they had to change it, they thought. I mean, did they really have to change it? Couldn't they have just kept it the same, maybe put a footnote or something?
Like if I had played something that was like a direct translation of Fire Emblem, then Fire Emblem Fates, and the localized version, I mean, it really depends on how much. I mean, you and I both watch a lot of anime. Do you really think they changed up those characters at all? Like the
I've
characters
never
in
watched
Dragon
anime.
Ball. Yeah, wow. Huh? With all that manga back there, it was just
Oh my
sitting there.
god!
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, you're right. In any translation, especially for anime, yeah, they do change it. They have to. Um, I
Like
mean,
you
yeah,
wouldn't really understand that character if they didn't change
yeah.
it up
Even
somewhat.
something as small as like honorifics, they change that for English because we don't know what that is. So that's the way.
See, the problem here for this conversation is that neither you or I speak Japanese.
Well, yeah, that's true.
We don't
We don't.
understand the culture is
Even
if we
well, even
understood
if we
both
learned
culture,
Japanese, we still wouldn't understand it the same
the
as someone who was
cultural,
born in. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So there's a difference. Localization, though, is a term that's used for products. Localization is done for products. Let's be very clear about that. Um, so anytime we're talking about game localization, it is treating it as a product for a market.
Mhm.
So, for example, like when you bring a product to Germany, it's best to have a base of operations in Germany, a local company that you either partner with or you use it as a distributor to vet that product you're bringing in. So, in this case, when they bring products from Japan to the US, Nintendo in this case, they have Nintendo of America who exists solely to do that. Is this product going to fit the Western audience? Is it going to fit in America? And they have to make that decision. Um, and my gosh, they've made horrible decisions recently. They really have. Like the Fire Emblem Fates thing is just the tip of the iceberg, to be honest. Um, like it came to light, for example, like they changed so much in that game. It wasn't just localization, like so that we could understand it.
They took out large paragraphs of just dialogue that wasn't offensive.
Right,
There
right.
is a scene in Fire Emblem Fates for the Western American audience that is just pure silence, and it verbalizes that silence in the text. However, if you play a different copy that was just kind of like translated, there's actually there's an entire conversation about like killing and death that goes on in there.
Yeah, it was
And
character driven. I remember
I
seeing it.
don't know why you would take that out, because one of the most important parts of Fire Emblem is that your character dies, they're dead. They're not coming back.
Well, there were two characters having a conversation in one section too, where they're both like dog creatures or I don't know. I'm not a Fire Emblem fan. They're like dog creatures or something, and like it's just like one is panting to the other and then barking, and it's supposed to be like a cutesy scene in the American release, and in the Japanese release they were actually talking and they cut out the dialogue. And it was like, what are you doing, guys? I mean, this is not localization at this point. This is complete rewrite of the story, rewrite of the characters. That's not what localization means. For example, when you bring a chocolate bar from Germany to the US, that's not what that is. This is. I mean, I don't know what that is at that point. I mean, localization of something like a game. Would you do that for a movie? That's the real question. If
You couldn't do that for a movie, because then the movie'd have a different story, and what you're seeing visually wouldn't make sense verbally.
It's a lack of respect for the medium. I think that's what it is. It's a lack of respect of video games as telling a story, as having characters, and you are gutting video games of that honor or of respect for that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So for example, like you would not take Citizen Kane, an English language movie, take it to Germany and change the story from being about a newspaper mogul who like falls apart in the end to, I don't know, some guy that just had a wacky adventure with a sled or something. I mean, you wouldn't change it to that because that doesn't make sense to do. That's not translating. That's not bringing a product to them. I mean, localization for like a candy bar, like I said earlier, that would be changing the packaging, making sure that it fits the local tastes. You wouldn't completely change everything you're doing, and instead of bringing a candy bar, you'd bring some other kind of product over. That's not what localization is, and I think that's what Nintendo is forgetting.
See, I agree with that. The thing is like I like Fire Emblem. I've played tons of the Fire Emblem games. Fire Emblem, right? I wouldn't say it's one of those Nintendo cutesy titles, so I haven't played Fates yet. But I keep hearing things like, oh, they made it really comedic, and there's like a cutesy barking scene between dog people, and I'm just thinking, well, this isn't even what Fire Emblem is. I mean, yeah, it's really high fantasy. It definitely has some of those more fantastical things, but it was never like, oh, let's go on an adventure and be, happy. It's like, no, there's some
No.
serious stuff going on.
Yeah.
This political turmoil, and we gotta fix it.
People die. People die in Fire
People
Emblem.
die in that game.
And they stay dead. You don't resurrect at the end of the turn. They're gone. Character arc gone. That's it. End of story. It is not. I'll be honest with you. I don't like the game for that reason. It's like playing Game of Thrones is what it is. Like, you grow to love this character, and you're like, this is such a great character. Oh, they're dead. Okay. Well,
see, when that would happen, I would always just restart like the mission or something like that.
Right. Oh, dude, that sucks. No, yeah, that's. I think we've probably exhausted our Fire Emblem conversation. Because I got frustrated because I played it. Oh gosh, I played it when they first brought it over, and it was the first game they brought over, and I don't remember what system it was. But I hated it. I'll be 100%. I hated it.
Oh wow!
I just couldn't stand the fact that they died like that. It was so frustrating to me. But anyways, so I don't know. Translation is tricky as it is. So, for example, if you're working with a book and you're translating a book into English, especially from Japanese, there's a lot of subtlety to the language that is not captured in English. So translation versus localization, I think, yeah, they're two different things. Translation is like translating a piece of art, like a book. You would do that with a book. You would try to stay true to the meaning. You would not localize it to local tastes and get rid of things that would offend. That's localization, as you pointed out. So, for example, I have books from Japan that are translated, and they aren't completely gutted and rewritten with English names in them because that's stupid. And that would be localization. And that, I think it shows a complete disrespect for video games that they are defaulting more towards localizing a product than translating a piece of art. And Nintendo needs to grow up. People are always saying gamers need to grow up, blah 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 needs to grow up. Well, I'm sorry, Nintendo, you are thinking of games like you did back in 1992. That's what you're doing. All right. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Sorry.
All right.
Hey, have you been playing any games recently?
Have I been playing any games recently? Yes, I have. Boy, when am I not playing games? I played the Battleborn beta.
Yeah.
I haven't played Overwatch yet. I hope I get into that. I know there's an open beta soon.
Yeah, how do you get into that? Because I wanted to get into it and I couldn't figure
it out. You gotta
out.
know a guy or be pressed, and unfortunately I'm not impressive enough.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was great.
It was so funny. It was so funny we should put it into Fire Emblem because because memes deserve a place in Fire Emblem. Oh god. No, what are you saying about Battleborn?
Battleborn is full of the memes. It's by Gearbox, so it has a very Borderlands sense of humor. Sure. So basically, you have a rogues gallery of funny characters to pick from, and then they go into an arena, and they basically play a first-person version of League of Legends as they try and take out the other one's base.
Like Smite.
So it's like Smite, yes. It's pretty good. It could definitely use some polish in terms of graphics. I know it's stylized, but this is something that really bothers me when you only have the choice between FXAA and no AA at all, because FXAA looks really garbage. So it makes everything look kind of smudgy. And so I ended up turning that off. That was like the only complaint I had.
Hmm.
which is weird. Beyond that, it's not unique. It's definitely a hero shooter. We're getting a lot of those now. It's fun though. I don't know if it's gonna beat Overwatch, but I think it's gonna be the competitor to Overwatch. Not Paragon. Paragon's garbage. Nobody cares about
Yeah.
it.
No, I've been playing The Witcher 3 is what I've been playing.
Oh man, what part did you get up to?
Okay, so I'm still looking for Siri. And
That is the entire game, bud. Thank you for narrowing it down.
so so there you go. No, actually I'm at this like I'm looking for the Baron's wife now.
For the
Found his
Baron's
daughter,
wife.
but I haven't found his wife yet. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just wandering around looking for things. Because
Wow, you're far behind. Yeah, the Bloody Baron is one of the best parts of that game, honestly.
I did the thing with the creepy fetus baby. No,
Yeah, that was creepy. That was weird.
amazing. I couldn't deal with that, dude. That was so. Yeah, that's what is wrong with what is it? Poland? Is that where these things
I
come
believe
from?
it's Polish. Yeah, it's Polish.
What is wrong with you, Poland? Why do you have fetus babies? They're like,
I didn't know that they had such a unique take on these kind of like fairy tales and stuff like that.
oh, it's so cool, dude. I love it. And I love the music too.
You're gonna get to it. Oh, the music is great. I think it was like a PAX or an E3 or something, but the CD Projekt Red did like an after party, but it was all themed around using The Witcher's music. So it was all stylized oldie time like.
I think I remember seeing.
I've seen videos, and I'm like, I wish I was there. It was like I saw a video of Angry Joe there, and he was like
it's sweet.
dancing to it, and it was old, like they were using lutes. Oh my god,
that's the best. No, the other game I've been playing is Shovel Knight because I'm a sellout, and it's a good game.
Got the amiibo for Shovel Knight?
Not yet. No.
Not in the amiibo craze.
Not that far. No, actually, I'm like barely into the game so far.
Oh
but
man,
my god, it controls so well. I could not believe how great it controls. Because like you know how some like retro titles look like garbage on HD TVs too.
Yeah.
This one, it just looks amazing. It looks amazing, sounds great, and it controls amazing. Like it makes sense why this is such a hit. What did they? What did we say earlier? 1.2 million they sold.
I think it was 1.2 or 1.3.
Yeah, 1.2, 200,000 from retail, and I was one of them because I bought it for PS4. So yeah. It's my gosh, dude! It's amazing.
Also, been playing Enter the Gungeon.
What?
Enter the Gungeon.
I don't even know what that is. Is this like an? Indie?
It is like Binding of Isaac. It's an indie roguelite, and the entire story is that you have a troubled past, and you are going into your past, or you're trying to find a gun that can shoot into the past and kill the past.
You're trying to kill
that is what you're doing.
You're trying to kill the past.
Yes.
That has no deeper meaning to it, right? It's just
it doesn't, but it's really good. It controls super well. If you're looking for something where you're just like, I only got like 15 minutes. It's like, I guess I'll just play a run of Enter the Gungeon.
That's pretty
cool. That's really why I've played so much of it, because it's like I gotta do some work. Guess I'll just play one run, and then 5 runs later. I've gotten nothing done. It's a really good game. If you're looking for something where you can spend a lot of time on, and you can play it in short, quick sessions, it's a great game. It's a great game for the value, honestly.
Well, not to delay us from ending any further, but I heard Super Meat Boy controlled really well too, and so I just I always wanted to play it. But I always felt like it'd be really frustrating to me.
It is an extremely difficult game.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't get it. But Shovel Knight, I heard was not as stressful because it can be hard, but you also have some leeway there. So I was like, let me go for it. So I just plopped down $20 and bought it. I mean, why not? Fun game. So anyways, let's go ahead and close out this episode. Diesel, you have anything you want to talk about before we close? You want to talk about rape again?
Oh, God.
Okay.
I'm all raped out.
Whoa! Oh, God, we're going to offend somebody. No,
Come on, buddy.
no. Hey, I appreciate you coming, dude.
Thank you for having me on. One moment.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for watching again. I'm Frank Gamer. That was FPS Diesel. And as you always, stay honest.